right, everybody, welcome back. Usually around this time of year, we start to really feel and see the magic of the holidays. There's lots of love, happiness, and once a year, if we're lucky, we get to see or hear a true Christmas miracle. Hence, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman may have provided the Christmas miracle of 2024. Spoiler alert, he still won't wear a suit, but listen to one of the best quotes of the year from a truly unlikely source.
Do you think he has the potential to be a successful and a good president?
I hope, because I'm not rooting against him. If you're rooting against the president, you are rooting against the nation. And I'm not ever going to be where I want a president to fail. So country first. I know it's become maybe like a cliche, but it happens to be true.
So Senator John Fetterman may be the world's only, or certainly the best example of cognitive improvement after suffering a stroke. We've heard of cognitive decline, but this guy, wow, what happened? He went in, a raging lefty liberal, has the stroke and comes out the backside like making some common sense. Way to go, Fetterman. Country first. Did you hear him? Country first. He's 1,000,000% correct with those two words. Fetterman completely defied the toxic nature and vision of his own twisted Democrat Party. This holiday season, let's all hope and pray that more Democrats can adopt Fetterman's way of thinking. It would truly make for a better America. I got plenty more to discuss, so as always, let's react. Indeed, Christmas is staring us all right in the face. For many, this is the happiest time of the year, but in Joe Biden's America, the chaos and disarray apparently will not take a holiday. What do you think made Elon Musk tweet this, quote, "Enough is enough"? Well, the sad truth is that it truly could have been anything. We haven't had a president in quite some time, long enough for the animals over the zoo to take over. There's an answer to this question. Elon Musk was reacting to the latest horror story authored by a violent, illegal animal. This one is really something. Take a look at the front page of the New York Post from this morning. For you folks that are listening on radio, it's Migrant Fire Horror. An invader from Guatemala decided to light an innocent subway passenger, a female, while she was sleeping, on fire, burning her to death in broad daylight. You heard me right. He literally lit this woman on fire. This was completely unprovoked. This woman was sitting on the subway, sleeping, minding her own business. In fact, there are several reports that she was actually sleeping, maybe dozing off. And this thug, and here's what the CNN writes, police said they don't believe the victim and the suspect knew one another. CNN's reporting that the victim and her killer had never even met. This animal had no idea who this woman was, yet for no reason at all, he decided to light her on fire, and then he watched her burn. The diseases that these migrant pigs bring into our country don't compare to the sadistic mental illnesses that many of them bring over with them. Remember when Trump said, bad hombres? Bad hombres. He said he was going to close the border. He came down that escalator in 2015, going to run for president in 2016. He said, I'm going to close the border. I'm going to build a wall, keep the bad hombres out. The left went apoplectic. The left said, oh, what a racist, what a bigot. Bad hombres. He used the word bad hombres. Well, look at these idiots, these Tren de la Araguas and these people from Venezuela. This guy was from Guatemala. They come over and they're raping and killing. Laken Riley lit this woman on fire on the subway. Why on earth would you light a complete stranger on fire? I'm seriously asking, does anyone have any idea why someone would do such a thing? These people are bringing drugs, weapons, illness, anger, thuggery to the United States. Yet this will be another unprovoked murder that our president will have nothing to say about, I'm sure. I understand America has turned the page on Joe Biden, but that certainly doesn't relieve him of his presidential duties. Put it this way. If your favorite baseball team took an 18-year-old shortstop prospect in the first round of the draft, does that mean the current shortstop should just retire? Of course not. Should your team take the field one man short every single game until the eventual successor is ready to take over? No, you still play the freaking game. Play the game with the shortstop you got, but the shortstop better play the game well. If he knows he's traded, is he going to start, missing the ball? He can go up to bat. Is he going to strike out because he knows the team traded him? Of course not. That's not how it works. You complete the work you sign up for. Joe Biden has completely quit on the American people. The New York subway system transports hundreds of thousands of commuters every single day, maybe even millions, folks. Do you think the president of the United States will even get a briefing on this brutal attack? What would have happened if that entire subway car went up in flames and killed, I don't know, 10, 15 more people or worse? What if the flames spread further? It's a subway. If that thing is moving, there's no way out. We're very close to covering a Christmas week terrorist attack. Yet, not a word from the Democrats, not a one of them. Maybe it's better that these Democrats keep their freaking mouths shut all at a time, all of them. We all know what AOC wanted to do to keep our subways safe. Listen to what she had to say about Daniel Penny, of no less.
If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally express remorse. And so the fact that a person may express no remorse indicates that there's a risk that it may happen again. And if we do not want to unleash that level of violence, then we should exert a level of accountability to prevent that from happening again.
Hey, AOC, you dolt. Are you kidding me? Apply that same comment to this illegal invader that you so openly want to embrace. All these illegals coming across the border, you moron. Are you freaking kidding me? You're going to point at Daniel Penny saying he wasn't remorseful when he was saving people's lives on that subway, but you don't open your freaking little Hispanic mouth about this one? Really? Are you kidding me? And don't get on me about Hispanic saying Hispanic. I am Hispanic, okay? Leave me alone. I'll tell you about that later. But I wonder how remorseful this Guatemalan alien is after burning this poor sleeping woman to death. Do you think he feels the complex level of regret that AOC is babbling on about Daniel Penny? I bet you not. I'll say it again. An innocent commuter was lit on fire while minding her own business. All of the make-believe subway safety activists who bitched about Daniel Penny saving lives have some serious splaining to do, Lucy. If they decide to stay quiet about this, AOC, you better believe I'm talking about you too, sweetheart. The worst part about this story is that innocent commuters who rely on the subway system are being fed BS about how their elected leaders are making the place so much safer. Kathy Hochul, governor of the state of New York, one of the worst governors, by the way, in the country, posted this video on social media literally the day this woman was burned to death on the subway. Listen.
I'm on the subway train heading out to Queens Center. I have a lot of, not quite last minute, but I have holiday shopping to do. I've got an adorable 2-year-old granddaughter, so it's a lot more fun to shop. I can take the subway wherever we need to go. And I want all New Yorkers to feel safe, which is why we've added so many more National Guard, over 250 more people that'll make sure that your ride is as safe as it can be.
So this woman was burned to death, and within 2 hours or so, Kathy Hochul puts out this video about how safe she's making the subway. As of this taping, she had not pulled that video down. And again, folks, that wasn't before. It was after. And no one has gotten to Hochul saying, you may want to take that video down. Maybe they will by the time this is airing this afternoon, Monday afternoon, but certainly not as, how's this? It hasn't happened all weekend long. Certainly aged like milk, and I don't mean almond milk. Notice how nobody's standing anywhere near the governor while she takes this shameless PR video on the subway. It's not real life, Kathy. The average commuter doesn't ride the subway with a security detail and 10 square feet of unoccupied personal space. They're often body to body with complete strangers, and sometimes it gets disgusting, folks. 20 years I took that freaking subway. There are people rubbing up against you with things that you don't even want to talk about, and I'm telling you, it's disgusting, New York subway. It's not like what you see in Kathy Hochul's video right there. That video from Hochul is exactly what the Democrats do. They love to portray this fabricated, completely false picture of what they see as American reality. They know that none of us get to live like they do. Nothing makes that point better than Kathy Hochul's subway car security detail just hours after that woman was lit on fire. I want to move on from this horror story to another societal poison that just won't leave us alone. The woke culture. You know, folks, I thought woke was dead. I thought Trump was elected. All the left and liberal nut jobs put their tail between their legs and say, you know, we went too far. Well, maybe I was wrong. Take a look at this repugnant TikTok from an actual American educator.
All right, everybody. Today is Gender Reassignment Day. I'm going to come around and give you each a new gender and pronouns. Jimmy, you're now Jamae, she, her. Carlos, you're now Carla, she, they. Rebecca, those shoes are giving pure cuteness, but they're also giving non-binary. And Jack, you are now Jackie, she, her.
That nut job is a teacher teaching your kids, folks. You want your kid listening to that nut? Are you paying his moron salary to teach your kids? Today is Gender Reassignment Day. Everyone is going to be involved, whether they want to or not. That's the problem. Listen, I'm libertarian. You want to be gay? Be gay. I don't give a shit. You want to dress like a freaking cat and pick up other cats? I don't care. Just don't do it with the kids. That's your teachers. High time right now to reopen the insane asylums. Wokeness is a disease. These deranged people actually think it's their way or the highway, and they think it's normal. What's worse is that these lunatics seem to always find their way into our classrooms. How does this keep on happening? Who's hiring these freaks? Donald Trump may not reopen institutions. I think he should. But he knows that this insane behavior has to stop. Fortunately, for all of us, he seems to be very focused, laser focused on making sure that happens under his watch. Listen.
Woke has to stop because along with everything else, it's destroying our country. We're going to stop woke. Woke is bullshit.
See, that's awesome. Listen, I got to tell you, 45th and 47th president saying woke is bullshit. I think it's just great. I know a lot of people, the president shouldn't use those. Screw you. He should. It's time. Saying he shouldn't is woke in itself. America's done with the bullshit. America's done with cable news filtering everything that you see. It goes through a boardroom and then it goes through an advertising department. Can he say that? Can Brian Kilmeade say that? Listen to these guys. Listen to Kilmeade and Ducey and Brett Baer and all of them. I love them. They're all my friends. I'm using them as an example because we know it happens on the left, but it happens on the right too. Every word out of their mouth is measured. They worry about everything they say because they're going to piss someone off, either in the boardroom or in the corporate room where they decide how much money the company's making from advertisers. They are measured. Trump says woke is bullshit. Bolling says, I agree with Trump. Woke is bullshit. Let me hear you say that on Fox News or anywhere else, folks. It ain't going to happen. Inauguration Day can't come soon enough. For the next month, all we can do is pray that the damage is minimal, but we'll get into that in a second. 2021, Goya launches Goya Cares, a global initiative to protect children and educate children on mental health. Goya Cares is providing schools and community centers with a preventative education curriculum and a free assembly that includes the viewing of the Goya Cares movie called Press Pause. Press Pause is intended to raise awareness regarding mental health issues, abuse, and bullying among children, teens, and in our communities. Press Pause is an educational film following 15-year-old Sofia Rodriguez as she navigates adolescence, self-doubt, and an abusive relationship amid her parents' turbulent divorce set within the cultural context of her Hispanic family. The film explores her discomfort with unwanted attention from her uncle and the pressures of maintaining a facade of perfection in high school. It introduces the Press Pause campaign, promoting kindness and advocacy, highlighted by Sofia leaving a note saying, "You matter for a bullied peer." The film encourages open family communication about mental health and culminates in Sophia's transformative realization of her right to seek help through the power of empathy and small acts of kindness. Press Pause displays the importance of being proactive in supporting one's community and underscores the critical importance of self-advocacy. Okay, now time for today's Truth Bomb. All right, folks, Truth Bomb. Rand Paul does this every year. It's really, really interesting. Rand Paul has put out his annual, I guess it's called the Festivus report after the Seinfeld gag about Festivus being that other holiday that Festivus for the rest of us. Anyway, cocaine rats, drag queen, ice skating. It's annual Festivus time. No, it's not what you think. It's not about the time when Senator Rand Paul, it is when he releases his Festivus report. Here are just a few of the crazy things you'll find in that report. Listen to me, with a T, $1 trillion in government waste, Rand Paul. He highlights insane use of spending, including $3 million for girl-centered climate action in Brazil. Now, I think that's a video that I used to watch in high school. Just kidding. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show. $20 million for Sesame Street, that leftist liberal network and show. By the way, isn't that taxpayer funded anyway, PBS? I think. Anyway, $10 million for the Bearded Ladies Cabaret for climate change focused ice skates show. What the hell's that? That's a video for someone else watches. $365,000 for circuses in city parks. $32,500 for breakdancing. Ray gun. $330,000 for censoring conservative media. $720,000 for conservation of ducks in Mexico. Oh boy, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're going to have a field day with this stuff, folks. Truth bomb.
And for all of us standing before you today, I can proudly proclaim that the golden age of America is upon us. It's going to be a golden age.
So that was Trump over the weekend, Charlie Kirk's AmFest, which, by the way, was phenomenal. I mean, Trump comes up with new stuff every single time he goes out there. Joe, you hear the same crowd. Trump, I mean, it's something new. And if you didn't watch that speech, you got to go back and listen to it. We have a lot of it in the show in the next day or two, today and tomorrow. But wow, what a great presentation Trump brought to AmFest. But nothing expresses the extreme levels of losing like we've had, like seeing what winning looks like again. For 4 long years, this country forgot what it felt like to be the beacon of the Western world, to feel proud and to have the leader of our country proclaim that our country is entering a golden age, that our country is winning again, and we will not be messed with. I can't wait for the next 4 years, maybe even 12 years if we're lucky. I know we all feel the same way. And if Sunday was any indication of what lies ahead, you know it's going to be very, very, very good for us. Not just good, but great. Not just great, but golden, as 47 said. All you have to do is watch President Trump on stage at AmFest, as I pointed out, in Arizona on Sunday with Turning Point USA, to make it even more obvious just how shitty the America killing the Joe Biden age has been. If you're about to enter the golden age, it's fair to say that we're in the poop stage of America right now under Joe Biden. The total and absolute stain that Joe stint has placed on our history, and you won't believe just how much Joe has decided to cement his status as the worst president in modern American history. This little Christmas gift to America, a final FU, if you will. Let's get into it. 'Tis the season. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and Dr. Jill Biden is mad as hell. So mad that she wants the big guy to burn the whole thing down. And at the top of the Biden naughty list, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and, not surprisingly, the mastermind of the coup heard around the world, certainly around America, the dancing fool you see right there, Nancy Pelosi. For those of you listening on radio, it's Nancy Pelosi dancing pretty poorly. Ugh. Anyway, we all know how mad the Bidens are about how the Democrat Party embarrassed the big guy right in front of the whole world. It makes sense that in their final days, weeks, etc., Dr. Jill and Sir Napsalot would do everything in their power to bring pain to those who brought them pain. But here's a question. What did the American people do to Joe? Why is it that Joe Biden continues to show just how much he hates this country, even in the final 4 weeks? This isn't a new thing, by the way. Joe's been hating this country throughout his presidency since the beginning. But this whole burn the thing down stuff, this is really, really shining through just in time for Christmas. And this is the pinnacle. As one of his final acts in office, hopefully, I mean, there's still another month, for God's sake. But this blows my mind. When I heard this morning, I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted at this guy. It's worse than sending $1 billion to Africa or sending billions more to Ukraine. This is worse. This could be one of the worst things I've ever heard a president do. One of his final acts in office, Biden has commuted the sentences of 37 out of 40 death row federal inmates. There's 40 death row federal inmates. He commuted 37 of them, all because Biden didn't want Trump to carry out justice for the victims' families. Hold on. Let me explain that for a second. Joe Biden says he commuted 37 death row inmate sentences because Trump has said they're on death row. We're going to kill them. That's what they deserve. The jury of their peers said they're done. Boom, gone. Trump said, I'm going to carry those out. What the frick does Biden have to say about that? He's smarter than a jury and a judge. So Biden commutes their sentences so they're not on death row anymore. Think about that for a second. Joe Biden sure does have a soft spot for murderers, rapists, and pedophiles, doesn't he? But wait until you hear about this list of winners he commuted. Shockingly, Biden didn't spare the Tree of Life shooter, the Boston bomber, and the Charleston shooter. We know that. He left 3 on death row. But the group Joe did spare includes 5 people convicted of child murder and mass murderers and rapists. Thomas Sanders, who was convicted for the horrific murder of a 12-year-old Lexus Roberts, 12-year-old girl. He shot 4 times and slit her throat after killing her mother. Jorge Avila Torres, who killed 2 young girls, 8-year-old Laura Hobbs and 9-year-old Crystal Tobias. Biden just commuted his sentence. Lesmond Mitchell, who was convicted. You know, folks, hold on. I'm pointing out convicted. This is the legal. What is Biden so freaking stupid? He thinks he can change the laws. He can override juries and judges. Didn't he learn his freaking lesson trying to go after Trump everywhere and losing everywhere? Biden commuted this guy's sentence, who was convicted for the brutal murder of a 63-year-old grandmother and her 9-year-old granddaughter in 2001. He forced the child to watch her grandmother's murder before killing her as well. Wesley Ira Perkey, convicted of the violent rape, murder, and dismemberment of a 16-year-old girl and the murder of an elderly woman. What a guy that Biden commuted. Biden also commuted this Democrat that makes him support criminals, even the most evil and depraved criminals above all else. Why is he commuting these sentences? Why is that Biden can't, in good conscience, allow these people to pay for the crimes that a judge and a jury has decided is appropriate? Because Biden isn't just a degenerate who's fully and entirely, most of his life, he's been senile. He is, as I said many times, he's truly not a good person. There's no one that would do this who's got a good heart. What about these victims? What about the victims' families? Daniel Lewis Lee, who is part of a white supremacist group, was convicted of murdering a family of 3, including an 8-year-old girl. Cementing Joe's status as one of the most racist presidents of our time is pardoning a white supremacist. What would happen if Trump pardoned a white supremacist? I never want to hear about it again. Not from Joe Scarborough or Joy Reid or any other state-run TV puppet about how the Republican Party is a party of racists or MAGA are fascists. We've just established that Joe Biden has been incapacitated for basically his entire presidency, and yet they're letting him grant these pardons and continue to conduct presidential business. Nearly 50 people, including staffers and congressional members, have confirmed to the Wall Street Journal what we already knew, that it's been weekend at Bernie's at Biden's for years now.
Mr. Mayor, come here. Come on, get up here. Sit in my lap. The mayor and I have I'm going to promote him. I'm going to make him a congressman.
Well, you disgusting creeper in chief. Notice that kid didn't want to sit on Joe Biden's lap. By the way, if you're watching on radio, listening on radio and not watching, Joe Biden's looks like he's trying to play Santa Claus, and he tells a little kid to come up and sit on his lap, and the kid wisely stayed off his lap. And by the way, Joe, you can't make anyone a congressman. And you're also not Santa. You're the president, unfortunately, and probably shouldn't have random children on your lap after what you've done to them. But I digress. Meanwhile, you got moments like this from the incoming president and savior of America.
And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one.
From day one, sanity, reason, the protection of our country, they're all coming back. Oh, a little comic relief, too.
Where's Ted Cruz? Is he here? He's here someplace. Ted? Ted? Oh, he's in trouble. Oh. He's in trouble. No, he was here. Oh, good. He's not in trouble.
Keep Texas, Texas. Amen. And I've got to say, this election has given President Donald J. Trump, a Republican Senate and a Republican House, a clear mandate to deliver on our promises.
Yeah, I love that moment. He's not in trouble. Of course he's not in trouble. But this is right here. This is enough to make us all breathe a massive sigh of relief, a true sign of things to come. Listen.
We're going to stop woke. Woke is bullshit.
But more importantly, when I watched President Trump yesterday, Sunday, the energy was different. If possible, he was even more resolved and resilient.
The European Union is suddenly talking about buying vast new quantities of natural, American, beautiful natural gas. But I've informed Mexico and Canada that they will have to step up and stop the illegal aliens and illegal drugs from pouring into our country. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America. Every foreign gang member will be expelled, and I will immediately designate the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We're going to do it immediately.
Talking about America first, talking about taking the Panama Canal back from China, forcing the European Union to consume our goods and even up our trade imbalances, Canada and Mexico promising to help curb illegal immigration. From day one, Trump is promising that America will always get at least a fair deal from every single country in the world. We haven't heard those words uttered from the leader of the free world, our American president, in 4 years. A true defense of America and Americans, stopping the IRS army and making good on everything he's promised Americans.
I made a series of big day one promises in my campaign. You know them just as well as I do. And 29 days from now, I intend to keep those promises to the American people. And just as we did 4 years ago, my administration will live by the motto, promises made, promises kept. We did keep our promise.
That right there, promises made, promises kept. This is the ultimate Christmas gift and what we've been really waiting for. Listen.
We are now projecting
And we will make
that the next president of the United States
America
is
great again. America's comeback starts right now.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump returning to the White House as the 47th president of the United States.
His comeback victory unlike anything we have ever seen in American history.
It was the most successful citizen revolt. The people defeated the oligarchs.
History looks back on Donald Trump. He will be one of the greatest leaders this world has ever seen.
Will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country.
regain control of their country, and that's what it's really all about. No more submission to the New World Order. No more globalist policies. No more allowing illegal invaders and criminals to have their way with our borders and pillage our cities and citizens. No more bending the knee to the deep state and D.C. swamp creatures. No more believing the leftist machine and their legacy media comrades spewing lies to the American people. While Joe Biden pardons criminals convicted of horrific crimes, Donald Trump is promising to defend America and restore it to our greatness. America First is the ultimate gift to the American people this Christmas and for the future.
We're going to be fully operational, I would say, by about 2 o'clock on the 20th. 20th of January.
2 o'clock on the 20th can't come soon enough. 28 days to go, Mr. President. The ultimate Christmas gift is yet to come, and America is going to be great again. All right, folks, before we wrap, I'm going to make you all watch a little clip that I unfortunately had to watch too. It's a laughable display of American insanity, a true reflection of the bottom tier of our society. Take a look. I apologize in advance.
Want to know how to make a trans puppy happy? Give him a bunch of intramuscular injection supplies. Yay! Oh!
Like I said, folks, it's a disease. These trans people. Again, you do you, but this trans thing, it's got to stop. Hurry up, Trump. Hurry up, get here. Bolling out. See you tomorrow.